Good morning. We are starting out with a very pretty sunrise. It is warm and it is humid. You've got temperatures at 75 degrees right now in Springfield with southerly winds and dew points over 70. So it's a warm and it is a humid start this morning. It's 74 degrees in Harrison, 75 degrees in Fort Leonard, and 75 degrees in Camden. Dew points are all over 70, so that tells us it's pretty thick and soupy and sticky out there this morning with reds on the muggy meter map. We'll have some clouds at the pool today, another hot and humid one with those temperatures at 93 degrees. A couple of showers and storms possible. The healthier storm chance will come by this evening into the overnight. You've got a slight severe risk in the yellow up top to the north. That's where we'll have a push of some damaging winds possible if these storms could stay organized into a line. Again, the damaging wind threat would be the healthiest threat with any of these storms. So hour by hour, we're looking at a mostly quiet afternoon, hot and humid again with those highs in the lower 90s. Some showers and storms overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. You see how they have some line segments here, so you could have some damaging winds. The storm chance continues tomorrow as the pattern stays a little bit unsettled. You'll have some showers and storms possible Tuesday, Wednesday, and into the end of the week with those highs up around 90. So expect some of those storms to dive south tonight. The active pattern continues. It means storm chances daily, maybe with some locally heavy rain. Heat also remains a threat because it stays hot with those highs up around 90 degrees all week, which is our average. So some of that late summer heat continuing to hang around. Again, the pattern stays active with the storm chances daily. So you want to make sure you've got that Color 10 weather app handy. Joe, Jen.
New for you this morning. One Springfield business that had to furlough 79 of its employees earlier this year because of the pandemic says it's found its light at the end of the tunnel. Nigel McDonald is in studio this morning to explain this story for us. Nigel.
Yeah, Joe, good morning. Vision Clinic says furloughing employees was the last thing it ever thought it would have to do. But once it happened, the company's next step was getting them back to work once the office reopened for general patient services. Now, back in March, the CDC said no preventative or primary eye care. CEO of Vision Clinic, Steve Rice, says the clinic did remain open for emergency and urgent care, but says, unfortunately, this wasn't enough to keep everyone employed. Now, I met with Christy Jordan, who was one of 79 employees furloughed. Jordan says it was a scary time there with so many uncertainties. However, she says that spending more time at home ended up becoming a blessing in disguise by allowing her to strengthen her family's bond.
The furlough allowed me to spend time with my kids and have those conversations and really solidify and build our relationships even stronger and connect with them in a way that I realized that that hi-bye relationship, what can I do for you, really wasn't enough, as well as my parenting of a student at Republic High School became me teaching my students because of the virtual learning.
Well, there was extra light at the end of the tunnel for Jordan. Vision Clinic survived its 6 weeks closure and was able to bring back all of its furloughed employees. Now, Jordan says she's thankful to be back to work tending to the eye health of people of Southwest Missouri.
Thanks, Naja. And with many students across the Ozarks going back to virtual learning, doctors say eye exams are more important than ever. Studies show children are logging twice as much screen time as they did before COVID-19. Dr. Jessica Dinwiddie, an optometrist at the Exclusive Eye in Rogers, Arkansas, says too much screen time often makes the eyes work harder, which can lead to vision problems down the road. She says 80% of learning comes from our visual system, so staying on top of your child's eye health is one thing parents can do to make sure their students is ready for school.
I feel like the more that we can help them and set them up to succeed, the better.
Dinwiddie says you can help mitigate problems like eye strain by taking frequent breaks, blinking routine, and disengaging before bedtime.
COVID-19 has moved colleges to mostly online classes and put off graduations. When many states went into stay-at-home orders, that also compromised internships. In our series, The New Normal, we talked with Arvest, which is adapting and offering virtual opportunities. Arvest says they couldn't afford to not offer internships. The bank adapted to offer both hybrid and remote options for those upcoming kids. Beth Graves, the internship coordinator for Arvest, says the program is designed to help students get integrated in the real world.
We also like to expose our culture to students and let them see how great Arvest is. We hire a lot of the interns that we have. Some of them stay on in the school year, and then some of them come back to work with us after graduation.
Now, virtual internships are something Arvest says it's going to look to do even when COVID-19 isn't a concern anymore, to allow students from all over the Ozarks to have a chance to participate.
News from around the region. Protesters took to the streets Sunday to mark the 6th anniversary of Michael Brown's death in Ferguson. Those in attendance say they are calling for justice. But just a week ago, it was announced after a 5-month reinvestigation of the case, there was not enough evidence to charge the officer who shot Brown with murder or manslaughter. A memorial for Brown included 4 minutes of silence that symbolized the 4 hours that Brown's body was left in the street.
And around America, police in Arizona say 8 people were arrested during a protest organized to remember Michael Brown Jr. The event began as a peaceful march until protesters and law enforcement clashed at Phoenix Police headquarters there.
3 Texas Parks and Wildlife employees were killed this weekend when a helicopter crashed on private property. The department says before the helicopter went down, the employees were doing an aerial survey of bighorn sheep. The only other person on board was the pilot, and he survived. The cause of the crash is still being investigated.
Thousands of bikers rolled into Sturgis, South Dakota for its 80th annual motorcycle festival. Despite concerns of health officials and many local residents, masks were optional, and not everyone practiced the distancing there. Over the weekend, the number of coronavirus cases confirmed in the U.S. since the pandemic did pass the 5 million mark.
Bringing crime into focus, a murder suspect in Shannon County is expected to be arraigned later today. 23-year-old Joseph Profer is charged with multiple felonies in the death of 77-year-old Barbara Lynn. Court documents show Profer and a second suspect allegedly broke into Lynn's home in hopes of stealing money. The victim confronted them and was slammed to the ground and strangled to death. The suspects then allegedly set the house on fire. 30-year-old Stanley Kanega is also in custody.
To a traffic alert now for you. 2 ramps on I-44 are closing for at least one night this week. The ramp at mile marker 61 will close starting at 10 tonight and will be closed through 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. The ramp at mile marker 67 will close Tuesday at 10 as well and remain closed through 6 a.m. Wednesday morning. Drivers will not be able to enter or exit from those areas where crews are going to be working, so you're going to have to find another way around.
In more local news, 5 years after being gifted land to build a campus west of Springfield, Ozarks Technical Community College has done just that. The college has built a 30,000 square foot education center in Republic and is celebrating the grand opening today. It's located on Highway 60 and the event will begin at 2. Numerous people will be in attendance, including Speaker of the Missouri House Elijah Haar and State Senator Lincoln Huff. The center will officially open at the beginning of the fall semester.
Let's take a look now at what's coming up on CBS This Morning.
Coming up, as the U.S. tops 5 million cases of COVID, some reopened schools are forced to close their doors again. Plus, challenging entrenched racism. How the armed forces address equal opportunity in 2020. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
Taking a look at what's trending for you right now this morning. People still talking about this earthquake that happened in the southeast. But at this point, I think Saturday night into Sunday morning right now. A 5.1 earthquake, though. That seems pretty drastic, pretty heavy, right?
Yeah, and they said people as far away as South Carolina and Georgia also felt the quake, which is pretty amazing to think about.
Yeah, that's pretty big on the Richter scale, especially for that area where they don't see it. It's not like California; they don't see the earthquakes as often. But so yeah, I've seen a lot of tweets about it. People still talking about it.
I think that's what's surprised a lot of people more than anything else is that North Carolina, you know, 1.5 states away into Georgia, people are still feeling that. So,
and this, they said,
incredible.
was the strongest earthquake they've had in 94 years.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that's why it's also a big deal, and that's why people are like, you know, because it's been 94 years. For a lot of people, it's the first one in their lifetime that is this strong, at least. Yeah.
Man, one other trend that's happening right now. Oh boy, college football. Big talks happening here. Leaks are coming out that this season will likely get postponed or canceled. The power schools and conferences are all talking right now. The players have come together. A lot of college football players have come together with this hashtag movement of "we want to play." Now, here's the deal. The players want to play, and they have a list of demands for safety protocols and to be safe and things. But everyone's mad at the suits for potentially canceling the season. Maybe it's because the demands can't be met. That could be why, guys. It's tough to execute this whole thing.
I feel like we've gone through this with every single sport.
Yeah.
You know, like you took the MLB for they took the MLB for forever. The NFL is in denial. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just so hard to make those decisions, you know?
Right, and that's something we're going to have to look at this week, and probably big announcements and big news coming from that each day. So we'll see. Very warm out there today, right?
Yeah, hot. Highs in the lower 90s, maybe a few storms, a healthier storm chance this evening and into the overnight, and then we'll keep a storm chance through the week.
All right, everyone, thanks so much for starting your week off with us here on Daybreak. Have a good Monday.